Hello, I'm Tom McAllister with the Encourages class, here to give you another ministry moment. Start off with a question. What's the shortest verse in the Bible? Sounds like something you'd hear on Jeopardy! Bible trivia for 200, Alex. Well, there are many translations, there are many short verses, but there's one that's universally accepted as being the shortest verse of the Bible. And surprisingly, it's one of the most profound. We find it in the book of John, chapter 11, verse 35. Jesus wept. Now, to put this in context, we go back to the beginning of chapter 11, where Jesus and his disciples have left Jerusalem because the Pharisees and the religious leaders had tried to kill him. And he crossed over the Jordan River, where John the Baptist had been baptizing people a few years before. He then receives word from Mary and Martha. These are the two sisters of Jesus' good friend Lazarus, that Lazarus is very sick. But Jesus stays where he is for 2 more days. Then he tells his disciples that Lazarus has died and that they need to return to Jerusalem. Well, actually, it wasn't Jerusalem. It was a small town on the outskirts of the city called Bethany. And as Jesus is entering the city center, Martha comes running out, Lazarus' sister, and just falls down at his feet and says, "Lord, Lord, if you'd only been here, my brother Lazarus wouldn't have died." Then she left, and then her sister Mary comes and basically says the same thing. "Lord, if you'd only been here, our brother Lazarus would not have died." And Mary's crying and Martha's crying, and there's this huge throng of people. I mean, the whole town is out there. Apparently Lazarus was a very popular guy, and they're all crying and weeping and wailing. I mean, it's an agonizing scene. And so here's what's really surprising, because Jesus knew that Lazarus had already died. And he was planning on raising him from the dead, kind of as a preliminary scene to his soon crucifixion and resurrection. So he has all this planned out. But he doesn't go, you guys just chill out and calm down. I'm Jesus, open up his cape, have the big JC with the red cape, I'm here to fix all things. He doesn't do that at all. What does Jesus do? He sees with his great compassion for all of us the agony and the grief that we're experiencing, and he gets right down in the trenches of our own sorrow, and he weeps right along beside us. Jesus wept. Now think about this. Here we have the Son of God, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one in whom, through whom, and for whom all things were created, the one in which one day every knee will bow and tongue will confess as Lord. And yet he's not this lofty king way up here. He's the people's king. He's right there beside you. He celebrates you with you in your victories. He's with you every day as your friend and companion. And in those toughest days, he's right there weeping right along beside you. What an awesome God is that. What's even more awesome is the next week, Jesus allowed himself to be captured, to be tortured, and to be crucified on our behalf so that we can have a right relationship with Holy God. So I'll end this with a question. If Jesus Christ, the Son of God, was willing to die for you and for me, is it really too much to ask for us to live for him? I'm Tom McAllister, and this has been your Ministry Moment.